And in terms of innovation, we are fully committed to continue to invest in Colombia. We feel that, and we feel and believe that Colombia is a country of opportunities. We have a tremendous healthcare system and support network that has grown tremendously over the years. We have a unique healthcare system that allows access to many people across the world. Of course, it has opportunities for improvement as always, but we feel that that the environment that we are at is very is positive to continue to have investment.
Welcome to Why Colombia, the podcast where we dive into the real stories of those who have taken a chance to invest in Colombia and have come out on top. I am Julio Cesar Puentes, Vice President of Foreign Investment at ProColombia, and together with the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Tourism, we are thrilled to invite you to join us on this journey of discovery, joining into our podcast to unlock the full potential of Colombia as a destination for foreign direct investment. Hello everyone. Well, one more time, we are here in our podcast, Why Colombia. Today, we have a wonderful guest with us. Her name is Sandra Cabezas. And I wanted to start this episode today asking Sandra, who is Sandra? Who are you?
Thank you, Julio, for the invitation. It's a great pleasure for me to be here. Who is Sandra? Sandra is a Colombian dreamer, I would say first. I'm from Popayán. I'm the youngest of 5 siblings. And my 2 parents are educators, or were educators. They're already retired. And I'm the mom of 3 beautiful kids, Emma, Camila, and Mateo. And I would say that I'm a very determined person, very curious, that is passionate about bringing hope and life to more people.
Wow. First of all, I would like to point out that Sandra is the country manager of Novartis here in Colombia. And he is a wonderful leader. I got the chance to be with her in some exercises, mainly public-private partnership alliances, in order to promote initiatives to close the gaps that we have in the public health sector. And I would like to start with that. Country manager of Novartis, one of the biggest pharmaceutical that we have in the world. Also, mom of 3 children. How is to be mom and lead a company like this?
I think that when you are aligned to your purpose, anything could happen. And I think that I have found through the medicine, I studied medicine at Rosario University, and I found in the pharmaceutical industry the best way to increase my scope of impact, bringing, as we were discussing before, hope and life to more people. And since very early in my career, I understood that I wanted to do something a little different than being in a hospital. And I discovered research and development of new drugs and the way that it has to impact the health of people around the world. And I always had in mind, because of my family, my parents, my sisters, that I wanted to have a family, so that's priority for me. And I think that the best way that you can manage both, because it's possible, is first setting boundaries, right? So, I have a time of the day when I say I need to go to my children and be with them. But the most important element is to have a support network with you. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do anything. So my husband, my family in general, and friends around, when we have been living abroad, have been instrumental for me to be able to do both, and both things that I love: be a mom, be a wife, and of course lead and have the opportunity to lead amazing teams over different countries.
I was gonna talk about this a little bit more, about your leadership, about your style leading people, and also how do you align your personal goals with your professional goals? How is a day of Sandra leading with all of these things? I would like to know more about your leadership, your style. What do you do?
For me, empathy and purpose are the 2 words that describe how I lead my team. I'm convinced that if you are focused on people, understanding what their motivations are, understanding what their purposes are, we can reach, whatever we dream for. That's the first element. And with that, I think you're able to be open to understand and actually to ask for different opinions, ideas, and to be more creative, innovative, and generate change. That for me, it's one of my passions, to really drive change and to discover ways to do things in different ways. In Novartis, we have a culture of what we call curious and embossed, and I feel very well represented by that. With that, we want to make sure that the organization see leaders as the people that are there to remove barriers and support people to be their best. And that's what I do every day. And I'm very lucky to have an amazing group of young people, young talent, that really want to reimagine medicine and to extend the life of people in Colombia.
Well, I am really convinced that you are an example of female leadership in our country. And I would like to know a little bit more, how is, what kind of actions can take the companies today, multinational companies in Colombia, to promote more the diversity in their executive teams?
Novartis is a company that is committed to equity in all sense. It's not only about gender equity, that of course, I feel very committed to. I feel that, my professional path and where I am cannot be a privilege of few people. It should be an opportunity for all people to grow. And in terms of female representation, if we start with that in the healthcare sector, we have a very good representation. Almost 80% of the people in the healthcare sector are women, but only 25% of them are leading the industries where they are. So we have still a big gap. We have evolved tremendously. I think the role of the women in leadership positions are clearly more evident, but we have a way to go. And that's why we have to still be very active on promoting this. And as a woman, as a mom, I'm fully committed to that. In Novartis, in particular, in Novartis Colombia, we have around 62% of our leadership positions occupied by women. But it's beyond gender. As we were discussing, we have the representation of 7 nationalities. We have around 30% of our people are, younger than 30 years. So that's why I'm super happy to have a very young group of talent. And as Novartis, we committed to equal payment for women and men. We started with this many years ago. And we actually, even within Novartis, that was a company committed to equity, we found a lot of opportunities. And we have pay transparency for all our associates across the world. And also we have something that is very close to my heart, that is the parental leave for fathers. It's not only for women, but our men, when they become dads, they go for 3 months, 3 months and a half to enjoy, a beautiful and unique time in their lives.
Well, you mentioned before a couple of words that for me are really important when you're leading a team. Empathy, have the support of your team, and also you just mentioned all the issues associated to how to motivate and stimulate teams. Let's gonna talk about a little bit more what is the plans of Novartis here in Colombia? Why Colombia? Why Novartis invest in Colombia? And what is the plans of Novartis here in Colombia? Do you have plans to grow your operations here? What are you thinking? Why do you share with us a little bit more about what is planning Novartis here in Colombia?
Colombia is a very important country for Novartis worldwide. We are recognized as a hub of innovation and talent. And that for me, I feel very proud of that. We have export, in the last year, 12 people to different countries. And in terms of innovation, we are fully committed to continue to invest in Colombia. We feel and believe that Colombia is a country of opportunities. We have a tremendous healthcare system and support network that has grown tremendously over the years. We have a unique healthcare system that allows access to many people across the world. Of course, it has opportunities for improvement as always, but we feel that that the environment that we are at is very is positive to continue to have investment. We invest, as you know, of course, mainly, and it's in our DNA, for research and development of new therapies. And only last year, we invested around $6,000 million in clinical trials in the country. We have around 50 clinical trials ongoing in about 17 to 20 cities in the country, and reaching different institutions, physicians. And that brings not only that investment that I was mentioning, but also knowledge transfer and capabilities. We have a dream that is to continue creating research sites in the country and continue to be recognized like an innovation hub. And we have, therapies that are cutting edge, for example, gene therapy. And we hope that at some point Colombia can be a hub of innovation in terms of, the development that comes to save lives, such as gene therapies in the country. So fully committed with investing in Colombia to continue growing and developing talent internally, and of course to export talent worldwide.
Excellent. And Novartis, and obviously leading by you, have the empathy with the country and with the institutions in the country. You have the support of ProColombia for your plans, don't forget that. And I would like to mention something, and I would like that you please explain to us a little bit more about the things that Novartis does apart from the day-to-day of the company here in Colombia. I recently knew about the initiative that you have for work very hard in trying to prevent or trying to fight against the cardiovascular health. And also recently heard an initiative that you are leading about the breast cancer in Colombia. Why don't you just share a little bit more about this and how this way to do the things? Looking for partnerships, public-private partnerships, involving different stakeholders, makes sense for Novartis. We're doing this. Why don't you share a little bit more about this?
At Novartis, we understood that if we want to really change the world and reimagine medicine, we cannot do it alone. And developing drugs and new technologies are only one piece of the puzzle. So in order to really support or improve the biggest challenges in terms of health, we need to look for alliances. And this is, very close to my heart, so that's why I feel very represented by this purpose of Novartis. But in my previous role in general management and currently in Colombia, I'm very excited that we have been able to work, as you were mentioning, improving cardiovascular health in the country. The cardiovascular diseases, unfortunately, are the first cause of death in our country, and 80% of those deaths are preventable. So imagine that if we put together our capacities, our expertise, our knowledge to fight cardiovascular disease in the country, we can reduce that and increase the productivity of the country, right? And making sure that we have a society that, where dads and moms can take care of their kids for longer periods of time, and that become, of course, more attractive for investment. So that's Atero Alliance. It started before I came to the country. I have lived abroad for almost 12 years. So coming back to the country, to Novartis, and when I found this kind of initiatives, I was very proud of the team. And what I have done is just to continue supporting the team to work on this alliance. And in terms of breast cancer, as a woman, and again, mom of two little girls, I feel that we have a lot to do in terms of improving the early diagnosis of breast cancer in the country. Breast cancer is the main cause of death from cancer in the country. And unfortunately, we are seeing more and more diagnoses in younger women that are productive. And many of them, around 60% of women, are like the responsibles for the household. So it's a problem, a societal problem, where we all need to contribute and work together. So the strategic pillars of this alliance are really focused on increasing early diagnosis. Second is to increase investment in research in the country to generate more data. And of course, to understand that treatment journey and patient journey where we can improve not only the treatment, but the follow-up of all those patients to improve productivity along women in the country.
I was wondering if there are Novartis doing something similar like this in other countries or geographies, these kind of initiatives?
We are actually. I had, one of the first ones that we did was when I was in Chile as general manager, and we worked on a cancer initiative that resulted in the creation of the cancer plan, the first cancer plan for the country, and actually increased funds and prioritization for oncological treatments at that time. And that created like a full wave of different approaches across the countries. So we are in general, as Novartis, committed to this kind of alliances, but I can tell you that we are pioneers with breast cancer. So we will be sharing with the world what we are doing here.
Wow, nice to hear that. But there are more surprises. I also knew about an initiative that you have in Hacienda Manantial, in the Meta department here in Colombia, and is a different kind of alliance. Why do you don't take to our audience a little bit more about? For one side, you are promoting clinical trials, fighting against those kind of diseases that you already mentioned. Also building alliances, but you are also working with the communities here in Colombia. What are you doing there?
Yes, Julio. So that's a project that is very close to my heart. It started many years ago, so I cannot take the credit for that. But in 2014, we started Hacienda Manantial. That is a reforestation project where we have planted more than 3,000 trees. And that, of course, resulted not only in the commitment that we have towards having a better environment for our sustainability in Colombia in particularly, but also, as you know, Meta unfortunately is one of the states or departments in the country that has been most impacted by the conflict in the country. And with Hacienda Manantial, we are creating opportunities for people to get a job and to be productive again. Because we have a honey production side also within Hacienda Manantial. So it's a beautiful project that only shows our commitment beyond developing medicine, as I was mentioning, but being responsible with the environment. We are committed to the sustainability goals of the Paris Agreement. And apart from Hacienda Manantial, we have another 2 or 3 projects that are really reducing, of course, our carbon footprint and supporting all the efforts of the government towards those goals.
Well, great. Sandra, for me, it's a pleasure and an honor having you here. I am the father of 2 daughters, and for me, seeing women like you leading and doing these kind of things, make me feel so proud, and also, fill my heart of hope for the future of my daughters. You have the chance to speak to maybe female leaders that are listening to us, Colombian females and other females in the entire world. If you have to, you have now the chance to leave a message to them. What do you have to share with them, or what do you have to say to them?
Thank you. That's a very good question. No, first of all, to dream big. I think that there are no limits, right? And if you surround by yourself by people that can support your goals, your dreams, you will be able to achieve whatever you want. The other element, as I was mentioning, is do the things in the best way you can. Right? Follow your purpose. Be happy with what you do. Sometimes we try to follow stereotypes, right? And we want to be like this person, like that person. I think for me, the most important quality in a leader or in a person is to be truly authentic. So follow your dreams, be purpose-oriented, be happy, enjoy, have fun with what you do, and be authentic, be yourself. But let's continue to build networks, because I think we still need a lot of work to do to make sure that there is equity, and again, not only in terms of gender, but build networks and continue to support each other.
Well, Sandra Cabezas, thank you for sharing your vision, your experience, and your thoughts. For us has a really great moment share with you. And thank you for our audience. We invite you to stay tuned with us in our podcast, and we remind to be pending of the next episode. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sandra.
Okay.